In Biobank overall, there's around about 140 people, roughly between 80 and 100 are on site here in Cheadle. They cover a broad range of departments. So we have people who look after our finance systems and processes, our HR staff. We have our access team who are based here, and they're the people who deal with researchers taking their applications to use the Biobank resource and adjudicating them to our access procedures. We have our laboratory staff here who provide support for access applications, so making samples available to researchers both here in the UK and more broadly around the world. And I say we have our imaging centre here as well, so we have a number of radiographers, healthcare assistants, similar, who support the imaging clinic. Okay, so the imaging project is really kind of unique, and even at the pilot level, when we'd seen around 10,000 participants, it was the largest imaging study of its kind in the world. We are looking to invite back 100,000 participants over the full scale of the project between now and towards the end of 2022, start of 2023. But really it's a team effort. It involves everybody from across Biobank. It's a very good question. So in terms of participants' expectations of joining Biobank, it's been really it's an altruistic kind of endeavour. So participants come to a centre. If you take our imaging clinic at the moment, they come and spend 4 or 5 hours of their time with us for very little, if any, return. One of the key things is that these are kind of research scans that we take, and we don't provide any feedback to participants about their health. This really is around creating a resource that researchers can use, and that will inform future kind of health interventions, new treatments or similar, but there's no immediate real-term value to a participant for their time. So interestingly, it is. So Biobank is clearly, it's a national study in terms of all of the participants who've taken part have come from across the UK. But really it is now of international significance and visibility. So we have around 7,000 researchers who've registered to use the resource. And for the last 2 years now, there's been more researchers registering from outside of the UK than within the UK. So it really now does have an international visibility. Yes, and we should be up to around about 500 publications. So since Biobank opened its doors to research in 2012, I'd say a number of researchers who've been registering, a number of applications for access have been increasing year on year. We ask that researchers provide back both data from the research that they undertake, so that the resource grows over time, but also that they publish the results into the open community. So working for Biobank I find really exhilarating. I think it's just a range of things that we get involved with. I think everything is very, very real, from seeing participants coming into the imaging centre and contributing their time and making sure that the systems we have in place to support that are all working as we expect, right the way through to how do we start to make available the data that we have and samples that we have in a way that's going to support the best quality research. UK Biobank is a key part of the UK kind of scientific kind of infrastructure, and has been called out as a key part of our life sciences strategy, and certainly post things to come through Brexit and similar, really helping to keep the UK at the foreground of research. I think UK Biobank, as I say, I think everybody here knows that they are contributing to something that's really kind of making a difference. I think the feedback we get from seeing participants coming into the imaging clinics and just really the altruistic kind of approach they take is very, very rewarding. Just the range of things that we get involved in supporting, as I say, they go from the very kind of strategic, kind of universal type questions, right the way through to kind of the very real, very physical things about how we actually make an organisation like Biobank operate. So I think there really is kind of something for everybody coming to work for Biobank.